Now on CoastTV News.
Home stretch, the race is on for the Delaware District 20 special election. The candidates met face-to-face in a public forum, and we'll hear what they had to say. Doors open. Delaware's legal marijuana industry launches today. After years of planning and regulation, recreational marijuana sales are now a reality. The magic continues. Chincoteague's wild ponies make their swim back home to live in the wild until next year's festivities.
A cloudy and cooler Friday for Delmarva with areas of drizzle and light rain. Then a gorgeous weekend on the way. Lower humidity, pleasant temperatures. I'll have your forecast details coming up next.
This is CoastTV News Today.
Good morning, I'm Elisa Weber. Matt Pensick has the day off. Thank you for joining us for our 6 o'clock hour on this Friday morning. It is August 1st. I don't mean to scare any students or teachers, but hopefully you're excited to go back to school in a month. But we still have a lot of summer left. Today might not be the best start to August, but don't worry, First Alert meteorologist Bob Trahey has some good news for our weekend. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Elisa. A beautiful weekend is on the way. It's just the time between now and then. It's going to be a little unsettled, kind of cloudy and drizzly, but I think we'll take that over 90s and triple-digit heat indices. We're seeing some low clouds out there right now, and we're also seeing areas of drizzle and light rain. It's not getting picked up by radar, but we are seeing that across the area. So make sure you have the umbrella out the door, as you do have a cold front slowly making its way through Delmarva, but still lots of clouds, showers, drizzle behind this front. So it's going to take a while for the dry air to get in. In fact, the dry air is back here through the Great Lakes in New England, so it's going to take a little while. We're not going to clear out till tonight, but we've got beautiful high pressure that will build in for the weekend. 60s and low 70s out the door, 70 in Long Neck, 71 in Millsboro, 70 in Seaford. We're only warming up a few degrees today, and gusty winds, 23 miles per hour, Indian River Inlet and Georgetown right now, and we've seen gusts close to 30 at the beaches. It's going to be breezy to windy there and breezy inland as we have lots of clouds. You see futurecast with the yellow and orange arrows at the coast indicating that strong wind, mid-70s there. In fact, temperatures don't move all day. Look at this, by 3 p.m. still mid-70s, patchy drizzle, light rain even into the mid-afternoon hours. Then I think we do start to dry things out as we go into the evening. And runners love this kind of weather, the cloudy skies, the cooler temperatures, and we're looking at lower 70s essentially through the noon hour and then maybe even the rest of the day. Some of us getting in the mid-70s, but feeling cooler with that raw northeast breeze gusting 25 to 30 miles per hour. More on that, plus the gorgeous weekend forecast in my full forecast a little bit later in the newscast.
On your screen right now is a map of Delaware House District 20. It covers Milton, parts of Lewis, Harbison, and Georgetown. It's home to approximately 23,000 registered voters. Our top story this half hour: in just 4 days, a special election will determine whether Democrat Alana Berry or Republican Nikki Miller will be the new face of the district. Both women spoke to constituents at a forum Thursday night hosted by the League of Women Voters in Sussex County. Both campaigning on strong education backgrounds. They were asked what Delaware's school funding formula should be and what steps should be taken.
We are hurting our most at-risk kids by paying the teachers less to teach them. And then you have high turnovers because the teachers can drive a few more miles and make more money doing the same thing.
We're operating on a funding formula that is not meeting the needs of our students and our teachers and our parents today. We have got to figure out how to completely restructure the way that we fund our schools.
And the two women did agree on several topics, saying both support DEI and women's right to choose. And here is some more background information about each candidate. Nikki Miller is a longtime educator and former Cape Henlopen High School principal. Miller told CoastTV she hopes the experience she gained from past campaigns will better her chances in a special election. Alana Berry founded the Brian Allen Stevenson School of Excellence, a free public charter school in Georgetown. Berry was experienced in Dover working on policy and budget under former Delaware Governor John Carney. The Department of Elections says about 22% of registered voters in the 20th district have already voted. That means over 4,500 people have gone to the polls. From now until August 3rd, the early voting schedule is 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. There are only two early voting locations. Those are Lewis Elementary and Mariner Middle School. Election Day is August 5th, with many more polling places open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Happening today, Delaware's recreational marijuana market opens. This follows at least 2 years of legislation and planning. According to officials, medical marijuana dispensaries with conversion licenses can begin recreational sales. In December, the state awarded 15 open retail marijuana licenses across the state, with 5 in Sussex County. Governor Matt Meyer says revenue from the new market will help fund education, public health, and infrastructure. With recreational marijuana sales in Delaware set to begin, some officials got a first-hand look inside the state's marijuana industry. Governor Matt Meyer toured First State Compassion in Milford. He also met with a few of Delaware Tech students enrolled in the school's new cannabis industry training program.
As best we know, this is the first program in the state of Delaware, and so just like any other program, when there's a need, we respond to it in the workforce by partnering with the employer, designing curriculum that fits the need, and then producing graduates who can go out and work.
And for an in-depth look at what this new market could mean for you, head to CoastTVnews.com. While recreational marijuana is now legal in Delaware, some communities in Sussex County have bans in place. Dewey Beach, Fenwick Island, South Bethany, Bethany Beach, Milton, and Rehoboth Beach have banned retail marijuana completely. Lewis has been considering regulations to allow it. Dagsboro voted to ban the sale and production of marijuana, and Georgetown's town council has now approved an ordinance that will allow for retail marijuana sales, cultivation, and testing, though it will be heavily regulated. It's a final farewell for now as Chincoteague's famous ponies make their way back to home at Assateague Island. The Chincoteague Volunteer Fire Company says the Saltwater Cowboys will guide the animals out of the carnival at 10 a.m. They'll be paraded along the same parade route as Wednesday, but unlike Wednesday, the ponies will go straight into the channel, swimming back to Assateague Island, where they'll remain until next year's swim. The ponies are expected to hit the water at 10:30. The Maryland Department of Environment officials have revoked over 1,400 lead paint inspection certificates. This comes after an inspector failed to follow safety standards. According to the department, 3 children have already tested positive for elevated lead levels, and affected rental units must be re-inspected. In Maryland, rental homes built before 1978 are assumed to contain lead paint and must pass safety inspections. The department says that inspector now faces civil and criminal charges. We are now taking a live look at Washington, D.C. New or solidified tariff rates will soon be in effect for almost everything Americans import. Today is President Donald Trump's self-imposed deadline day for ending his pause on dozens of duties. Many of the new rates don't match the ones he announced back in April. President Trump says that's due to negotiations with trading partners. Amy Kiley shows us the new rates U.S. businesses will have to pay and what they could mean for American consumers.
New tariff rates for imports from dozens of countries are set to start August 7th. That's due to an executive order from President Donald Trump, who's meeting his self-imposed deadline today. The universal base rate will remain 10% for goods from countries with which the U.S. has a trade surplus. The base will be 15% when a trade deficit is involved. The rates are set to go even higher for goods from more than 24 other trade partners. Some of the steepest are on imports from Syria, Laos, Myanmar, Switzerland, Iraq, and Serbia. Notably, the duty on Canadian goods will be 35% for imports that aren't compliant with the USMC trade agreement.
Mark Carney, who's in charge there, is kind of the anti-Trump, to be honest. I mean, everything Trump would do, say, or think is the opposite of what Carney would do, say, or think.
Most products from Mexico are getting another 90-day pause.
Mexico has agreed to terminate those non-tariff barriers and to continue to work with us in good faith.
The Trump administration says it hopes foreign producers will help U.S. businesses cover the costs of the tariffs.
The American economy will boom like never before.
Stock market declines yesterday suggest many investors aren't so sure of that. Several U.S. businesses say they can't afford to pay the tariffs without increasing prices for American consumers.
You're going to see price increases for the average American family of around $2,400 annually and a smaller economy.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
And we're just getting started in this hour of Coast TV News today. We still have a lot more news to get to. Coming up, recognizing Rehoboth history, we'll tell you when the nation's summer capital will unveil a permanent reminder of the Beach Patrol's impact. And Worcester Water Upgrades will tell you about the potentially expensive project for one community in the county. And Community Comments will tell you about TikTok's new feature that's aimed at increasing accuracy. All that and more as Coast TV News Today continues.
Just about 6:13 on our Friday morning. Gray slate skies on the FH Furcam in Cambridge, 70 degrees, a raw northeast breeze, and a little bit of fog out there too. Georgetown, 3 miles in fog. Better in other locations. So just take it slow. Make sure you have the raincoat and rain gear for drizzle and light rain. 60s and low 70s out the door. Those temperatures not moving at all today as we have gusty northeast winds and low clouds and drizzle and some fog too. And it's going to be kind of a dreary day with the cold front sliding through. That drier air will build in later tonight. Mowing forecast not so great today with the grass so wet. I put it in the fair category, but perfect cutting the grass weather as we go into the weekend. Sunshine, lower humidity, and that continues into Monday as well.
Delaware State Police have arrested a Rehoboth Beach man for drugs. Troopers say they searched Stephen Pagan's home on Baltimore Avenue Thursday morning as a part of a drug distribution investigation. He was found inside with 2 children. Police say they recovered cocaine, mushrooms, steroids, 2 loaded guns, and over $3,100 in suspected drug money. The Rehoboth Beach Police Department is now hiring full-time police officers. Applicants must be certified police officers in Delaware. More information on the position can be found on Rehoboth Beach's police Facebook page. Road work expected to finish today in Salisbury. The city says traffic signal upgrades have been taking place this week at East Main Street and Snow Hill Road, as well as East Main Street and Ward Street. On your screen right now is where crews are working from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m., weather permitting. According to officials, roads will stay open, but flagging operations may cause delays. Drivers are encouraged to use Route 50 or 13 to avoid congestion in the work zone. Many Americans are still opening their wallets despite tariff-based price hikes. Consumer spending increased 0.3% in June compared to May. The Personal Consumption Expenditures Price Index, which is how the Federal Reserve gauges its 2% target rate for inflation, also rose 0.3%. That lifted the yearly rate to 2.6%, a high not seen since February. TikTok has announced a new fact-checking feature to help fight misinformation on the U.S. version of the popular app. The feature will be called Footnotes. It's similar to the community notes on Meta and X. TikTok is selecting users to add written context and background to some of its videos, along with links to the information sources. Notes with the highest ratings will be displayed at the bottom of all U.S. user screens.
It's a whiteout as we're looking at the Tyndall's Casual Furniture Cam in Laurel. This camera is up on the tower looking through the fog, drizzle and light rain as well. So remember the umbrella out the door. It will be a cooler day and then a gorgeous weekend on the way. Sunshine, lower humidity, cooler as well. I'll have your forecast details in 2 minutes. Stay tuned.
17 and we are taking a live look outside at Lewis this morning, and we are working on a much cooler Friday. Bob, we don't see the sun out yet.
Nope.
It's looking a little cloudy there in Lewis today, but that's what we're gonna experience.
I think that's pretty much our Friday weather, Elisa. Gray slate skies. Not going to see the sunrise this morning. It is going to be a gray day, and we picked up a lot of rain in the past 24 hours. Look at this, Lewis. Over 2 inches of rain, 1.89 in Milton, with Rehoboth Beach 1.79, 1.69 in Georgetown, a little less than that in Delmar, 1.57, and then Cambridge checking in with a little bit over 1.5 inches. It was a soaker for sure, and a gorgeous weekend on the way with Canadian high pressure, low humidity, dew points in the 50s and 60s. Some places at night I think will dip into the upper 50s as we go over into the weekend. We're looking at low clouds out there right now, and what radar does not pick up on is drizzle and light rain, but I think we are seeing that across the area. So make sure you have the umbrella out the door as we're watching a cold front now making its way southward across the peninsula, bringing in that cooler air, but the drier air will take a while to get in here. We'll be looking at low clouds. You see the showers extending from DC to New York and into southern New England, so we still have some moisture to get through before we get in the drier air, which is across areas of southeast Canada and New England, with sprawling high pressure across the great Great Lakes, and this will be the weekend weather, looking fantastic. And I think it'll last into early next week as well. 70 in Millsboro now, 70 in Milton, Willard 72, 70 in Rehoboth. Temperatures really not climbing all that much today. And dew point temperatures still on the muggy side, but you don't feel it as much when temperatures are much cooler. And it feels like temperatures are pretty tolerable in the 60s and 70s as we're looking at northeast winds, 24 miles per hour sustained at Indian River Inlet. They've seen gusts of close to 30 there. They'll be gusting over 30 at the coast today, and pretty breezy inland as well. So Futurecast showing these orange and red arrows along the coast indicating those strong winds with temperatures not moving much in the low to mid 70s pretty much all day with the clouds and then patchy drizzle and light rain. Won't be heavy, but just kind of a nuisance precipitation. Then we go into this evening, still kind of cloudy and breezy. And then that overcast starts to break up overnight and we move into Saturday morning and we're looking at temperatures in the 60s and 70s. And then we see a beautiful Saturday, mostly sunny skies, near 80 degrees inland areas with 70s at the coast. And then I think it cools off into Sunday morning. Some places maybe upper 50s near Del Mar back through Seaford, otherwise 70s at the beaches. And we round out the weekend, beautiful upper 70s and lower 80s, but it's going to be windy at the coast. Look at these gusts over 30 miles per hour as we go through the next 24 hours, and pretty breezy as well, even into Saturday inland areas with that muggy meter finally looking good. We're into the comfy range as we go into Saturday and early next week, so we've got several days where it will be really comfortable. 75 in Harrington, Georgetown, and Millsboro today, kind of cloudy, drizzly, and rainy, and mid 70s from Easton to Vienna, and looking at 75 in Princess Anne and 75 in Snow Hill. Paul Davis 7-day forecast, lower 80s into the weekend, mostly sunny, low 60s at night, just gorgeous conditions. And that humidity still pretty low into early next week with highs in the low to mid 80s, so below average, and lows in the 60s, and maybe another rain chance by Thursday and a high of 81.
Expensive upgrades hanging over the heads of neighbors in Worcester County. The water treatment plant in Newark is more than 40 years old, and its aging equipment in part has led to discolored water. County leaders are saying they are working on a long-term solution, but in the meantime, officials have installed filters at people's homes for free. And neighbors say so far they are happy with the results.
Right now, the improvement to our water is rather cheap, and we're hoping that it lasts for years.
The county could take out a loan from its general fund, but that cost would fall on neighbors. So for the time being, the county says it will continue to pursue federal dollars and grant opportunities. A Dover man is now facing charges after Seaford police say they arrested him on gun and drug charges. Seaford police say it started just before 2 a.m. on Thursday when an officer spotted a car fail to stop at the intersection of Virginia Avenue and Bridgeville Highway. The driver, who police say is 23-year-old Sherwood Holly, then made what they call aggressive maneuvers and pulled into the Seaford Meadows apartment complex. A search turned up a loaded gun, cocaine, pills, drug paraphernalia, and about $660 in suspected drug money.
And coming up, a fresh batch of cool things to do to keep summer rolling. Stay with us.
If you're looking for something fresh and local to do this afternoon, head to downtown Milton to the Farmers Market. According to the Milton Chamber of Commerce, the market is open today from 3:30 to 6:30 p.m. at 100 Union Street. Organizers say you'll find fresh produce, homemade baked goods, local flowers, seasonal fruits and vegetables, and handmade crafts, all from your favorite local vendors. Rehoboth Beach will unveil a new historical marker, this at a ceremony on August 5th at 9 a.m. at the Beach Patrol. Officials say the marker will honor the Beach Patrol's long history. Mayor Stan Mills says it's an honor to receive the state historical designation. And unfortunately, our Friday is off to a very cloudy start, Bob. I guess it's better to have a cloudy Friday and then have a beautiful weekend, which that's what you're cooking up.
I am. Yeah, and I don't think people are complaining really that much, Elise, about today's weather. because we're done with the 90s and the triple-digit heat indices. Yes, not the best beach day. Maybe go to your favorite restaurant or your store along the coast. Chincoteague and Assateague, breezy, raw northeast wind, mid-70s today, and some drizzle and light rain. Rip current threat is moderate, so swim with a buddy and swim on guarded beaches. We're looking at similar conditions in Fenwick Island and Ocean City with waves of 2 to 4 feet and temperatures in the mid-70s. On the Bayside, cloudy today in Cambridge, 75, but lower 80s into the weekend. Beautiful there. Similar conditions in Crisfield. Gorgeous conditions, not only for the weekend, but into early next week. More on that coming up in the next half hour.
We have only a month of summer left, but it's not too late to enjoy the fun and flavor Delmarva has to offer. Here's Christina DeRobertis with your cool things to do this weekend.
This week, we're going to dive right in, literally, with a Southern Delaware delicacy because Oyster Week is back. Starting Sunday, August 3rd until August 7th, you can taste your way through the coast with locally grown oysters, and it's not just a food fest. This week highlights sustainable farming and those who keep our bays healthy and delicious. Also happening, Rehoboth's signature summer art show returns for its 52nd year. The outdoor fine art and craft show runs both weekend days, featuring more than 100 artists, live music, food, and a Dogfish Head beer garden. More peaches this weekend, this time in Kent County. The annual Peach Festival returns to Wyoming Saturday from 9 to 3. And if you're still in a pony state of mind, the Chincoteague Fireman's Carnival keeps the fun going through Saturday from 7 to 11 p.m. Or you can get a new pet this weekend. The Brandywine Valley SPCA is hosting an adoption event in Rehoboth. It's happening Saturday from 10 to 3 at the Petco on Coastal Highway. You can head to CoastTV.com and click on Cool Things to Do for event details, tickets, and more.
Now on Coast TV News.
Home stretch, the race is on for the Delaware District 20 special election. The candidates met face-to-face in a public forum, and we'll hear what they had to say. Doors open. Delaware's legal marijuana industry launches today. After years of planning and regulation, recreational marijuana sales are now a reality. The magic continues. Chincoteague's wild ponies make their swim back home to live in the wild until next year's festivities.
A cloudy and cooler Friday for Delmarva with areas of drizzle and light rain. Then a gorgeous weekend on the way. Lower humidity, pleasant temperatures. I'll have your forecast details coming up next.
This is Coast TV News Today.
Good morning, I'm Elisa Weber. Matt Pensick has the day off. It is 6:30 on this Friday morning. We have almost made it to the weekend, but we are starting a new month today. It is August 1st, hard to believe. I sometimes feel like July was 2 weeks long. I think, Bob, you'll agree with me, this summer is going by maybe a little too quickly.
Oh boy, it is flying, Elisa. It felt like 4th of July just yesterday, and now it's back to school in a couple of weeks. Oh my gosh, but there's still plenty of summer left. And it's a dreary start to our first day of August. Lots of low clouds out there. We're seeing some drizzle and light rain. You don't see it on radar, but it's out there. So make sure you have the umbrella and the raincoat out the door as a cold front is moving through. The cooler air is funneling in, but still lots of moisture. Still clouds, showers back through DC and into New York as well. The drier air is farther northwest near the Ohio Valley into the northeast now. That drier air really won't be moving in until tonight, so much of the day is still kind of murky, and it's mild. Temperature's not rising much today. Right now, low 70s, 70 in Millsboro, Lewis 71, 71 at Bethany Beach, 69 in Bridgeville right now, and those winds gusting close to 30 miles per hour at Indian River Inlet, 25 in Ocean City, 23 in Georgetown, so it'll be breezy and much cooler today as we're looking at those winds. Pretty strong at the coast. These orange arrows indicating winds over 30 miles per hour, and temperatures you see move very little. Mid-70s by the noon hour. Pretty breezy, cloudy, patchy drizzle, light rain right through the afternoon and possibly even into early this evening as well, with temperatures in the 70s, but feeling cooler with the breeze. Here's your drivecast. I gave it the yellow light this morning. Watch for puddles on the road from last night's rain. Also some light rain and drizzle. That'll be the case again for the afternoon and evening commute, and a much better weekend on the way. I'll have that forecast coming up in just a little bit.
Happening today, Delaware's recreational marijuana market opens. This follows at least 2 years of legislation and planning. According to officials, medical marijuana dispensaries with conversion licenses can begin recreational sales. In December, the state awarded 15 open retail marijuana licenses across the state, with 5 in Sussex County. Governor Matt Myers says revenue from the new market will help fund education, public health, and infrastructure. And with recreational marijuana sales in Delaware set to begin, some officials got a first-hand look inside the state's marijuana industry. Governor Matt Meyer toured First State Compassion in Milford. He also met with a few Delaware Tech students enrolled in the school's new cannabis industry training program. On your screen right now is a map of Delaware House District 20. It covers Milton, parts of Lewis, Harbison, and Georgetown. It's home to approximately 23,000 registered voters. There is a vacant seat in the Delaware House of Representatives, but in just 4 days, a special election will determine whether Democrat Alana Berry or Republican Nikki Miller will be the new face of District 20. CoastTV's Emma Aiken shows us the two women each shared their vision for the district's future on Thursday night.
A full forum with people in District 20 eager to hear what Democrat Alana Berry and Republican Nikki Miller see for the future of the area. The women are facing off in a special election on August 5th. Hosted by the League of Women Voters of Sussex County, the candidates were asked a variety of questions from the league as well as the public. When asked, how would you work with Governor Matt Myers' administration, here's what they had to say.
Any bill that I would write, any piece of legislation that I would co-sponsor or champion, I would make sure that the governor's office is in and understands the intent of that bill from the beginning.
I believe that the governor needs somebody with a little bit more experience than him in the classroom and in leadership and education to be able to support his work, obviously in a very kind and supportive way.
The two women agreed on several topics, saying both support DEI and women's right to choose. Both campaigning on strong education backgrounds, they were asked what Delaware's school funding formula should be and what next steps should be taken.
We are hurting our most at-risk kids by paying the teachers less to teach them. And then you have high turnovers because the teachers can drive a few more miles and make more money doing the same thing.
We're operating in a funding formula that is not meeting the needs of our students and our teachers and our parents today. We have got to figure out how to completely restructure the way that we fund our schools.
Two women vying for one empty House seat. In Milton, Emma Aiken, Coast TV News.
The Department of Elections says about 22% of registered voters in the 20th district have already voted. That means over 4,500 people have gone to the polls. And from now until August 3rd, the early voting schedule is 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. There are only 2 early voting locations. Those are Lewis Elementary and Mariner Middle Schools. Election Day is August 5th, with many more polling places open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. It's a final farewell for now as Chincoteague's famous ponies make their way back home to Assateague Island. The Chincoteague Volunteer Fire Company says the Saltwater Cowboys will guide the animals out of the carnival at 10 a.m. They'll be paraded along the same parade route as Wednesday. Unlike Wednesday, the ponies will go straight into the channel, swimming back to Assateague Island, where they'll remain until next year's swim. The ponies are expected to hit the water at 10:30 this morning. We are now taking a live look at Washington, D.C. New or solidified tariff rates will soon be in effect for almost everything Americans import. New overnight, they're set to start August 7th due to an executive order from President Donald Trump. The universal base rate will remain at 10% for goods from countries with which the U.S. has trade surplus. The base will be 15% when a trade deficit is involved. The rates are set to go even higher for goods more than 24 other trade partners. Most products from Mexico are getting another 90-day pause. Several U.S. businesses say they can't afford to pay the tariffs without increasing prices for American consumers.
You're going to see price increases for the average American family of around $2,400 annually, and a smaller economy.
The Supreme Court might have the last word on the tariffs. President Trump argues he can unilaterally impose them by declaring that trade deficits are national emergencies. A group of states and small businesses is challenging that assertion with a lawsuit. An appeals court is considering their case. And we have a lot more news to get to in this final half hour. Don't go anywhere. Coming up, keeping Salisbury clean. We'll show you the efforts around the city by one group of teenagers. And major MLB trades. It was a busy MLB trade deadline up in Philadelphia, and we'll tell you the moves that were made. And Cambridge caters to locals. Will tell you how the city manager is changing his schedule to make himself more available. Stay with us on Coast TV News Today.
6:41 this morning, a dreary look at Delaware Bay on the Tunnel and Razor Cam. We got white caps, winds out of the northeast, cloudy skies, kind of a dreary start to August, but much cooler. A little bit of fog around Georgetown. Watch out there, 3 miles there, so take it slow. Make sure the umbrella out the door. We're looking at temperatures in the 60s and low 70s and gusty northeast winds right now. And with the low clouds, we're seeing drizzle and light rain. We're going to be in this really much of the day. The drier air doesn't build in until later tonight. Golf forecast, those greens are going to be slow today with them being waterlogged, gray skies, light rain and drizzle 75. Congratulations to Troy Smith from Lewis on winning a new umbrella from Paul Davis and Coast TV.
New this morning, Delaware anglers are reeling in steady summer action up and down the state. That's according to Denrec's updated fishing report. Officials say Broadkill Beach is producing spot, weakfish, croaker, and blues. At Cape Henlopen Pier, anglers are mostly catching spot, croaker, and kingfish. A 12-pound sheep's head was caught off the rocks at the Indian River Inlet. Flounder are being caught in the Indian River and Rehoboth Bays, and tilefish are coming in from the offshore ocean. In Cambridge, City Manager Glenn Steckman will have office hours on Saturday, August 2nd at City Hall. He will be available from 9 a.m. to noon. You can either stop by or email him to make an appointment. Glenn says he's looking to make Saturday office hours a monthly occasion for people unable to get to the city during the week.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
The Phillies and the Twins. That's a trade duo so nice, they did a deal twice. The MLB trade deadline was last night, and Philadelphia was certainly a buyer, not a seller. It dealt with Minnesota twice over the last 2 days, so let's break down the full haul. In total, the Phillies gave up 4 prospects: catcher Eduardo Tate, right-handed pitcher Mick Abel, outfielder Hendry Mendez, and right-handed pitcher Jeremy Valoria. The first 3 of that group are top 10 ranked prospects within Philadelphia's farm system. So what did the Phillies get back? Well, how about one of the hottest relief pitchers on the market in Jhoan Duran? The closer has a 2.01 ERA this season through about 50 innings of action for the Twins. Duran's fastball touches triple digits, which will certainly be welcomed by the Phils. Joining Duran in Philadelphia is outfielder Harrison Bader. He was a backup center fielder in Minnesota who was strong defensively. Bader also has 12 home runs to his name this season, which makes him a viable righty batter for the Phillies. The Phillies also acquired right-handed pitcher Matt Manning from the Tigers in exchange for a minor league prospect right before the deadline. That'll do it for sports. Have a great day, Delmarva.
And coming up tonight on DSN, your game of the day at 12:30, it's USSSA softball. Then at 10:30, you can catch the final score. And on the DSN Plus app, along with that softball game we just mentioned, you can watch USSSA Eastern National Softball Championships at 8 a.m. If you're having a rough week, you can cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from Coast TV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and more. You can sign up right now for free at coasttv.com and get your weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox on Friday.
The month of August starting out on a gray note, kind of drizzly, light rain in Cambridge right now. It's going to be that kind of day and cooler, so not necessarily bad. No more triple-digit heat indices as we're looking at a gorgeous weekend on the way. Sunshine, lower humidity, cooler temperatures. I'll have your full forecast in 2 minutes. Stay tuned.
Now 6:46, and we are taking a live look outside at Laurel this morning on this Friday morning. Not the best view in Laurel there. I think that's the ground, Bob. We are looking really high above in Laurel, but I know in the sky there's clouds today. That is the story.
Yeah, and that camera is shooting through the clouds and looking down from the tower. That's the perspective, Lisa, as it's looking through the fog, some drizzle, some light rain. So it is kind of a dreary start to August, but I'm sure not too many complaints because it's much cooler out there. And we picked up some good soaking rain the past 24 hours, over 2 inches in Lewis, with Milton checking in with 1.89, Rehoboth 1.79, Georgetown 1.69 inches of rain, Delmar over 1.5 inches, and the same for Cambridge as well. So a good soaking, but big changes into the weekend. It's going to be beautiful. Canadian high pressure building in, low humidity Saturday through Monday, dew points in the 50s and 60s, overnight lows in the 60s, and some upper 50s are possible in some inland spots later in the weekend. Right now it's lots of clouds out there, and what you don't see on this is drizzle and light rain. That doesn't really show up too well on radar, but we have it out there, so make sure you have the umbrella and the raincoat out the door, and watch for a little bit of fog too. We are seeing some more showers moving into DC and Baltimore. Cold fronts sliding through, but still a lot of moisture kind of hanging around behind this front. So clouds today, some showers. You see those extending into Pennsylvania and southern New England. We really don't get into the dry air until we get near Buffalo, Burlington, Vermont, and southeast Canada, as this high pressure will be driving all this to the south, and this sprawling high will once again settle over us this weekend and bring us a glorious weekend, and then into early next week as well. 60s and low 70s out the door right now. 69 Georgetown, 70 in Millsboro, 72 in Willards, and dew point temperatures nearly matching, and eventually things will start to dry out as we have gusty winds sustained 20 miles per hour at the coast. They have seen gusts to 30 at the beaches, so it's going to be a breezy day there today. With Futurecast, with the cloud cover, you can see the yellow and orange arrows indicating that raw northeast breeze along the coast, with mid-70s there. Cloudy skies pretty much all day, and by mid-afternoon we're still pretty much in the mid-70s, much cooler than yesterday, and still kind of overcast this evening. Any kind of drizzle or light rain will end, and we'll see clearing skies moving into Saturday morning, and then Saturday, a beautiful day, upper 70s to low 80s inland, a little cooler at the coast, and a beautiful Saturday evening for your outdoor activities. Sunday morning, we're dipping into the 60s, maybe even upper 50s, somewhere near Seaford into Delmar, and it looks like a beautiful Sunday afternoon, upper 70s and low 80s with a northeast breeze, which will be strong today, gusting over 30 miles per hour at the coast. Not as strong inland areas, but will continue that trajectory out of the northeast and east as we go into Saturday. Very breezy conditions, and then the humidity finally dropping. Look at this. We're going to have dew points in the 50s Saturday right through Tuesday. Beautiful conditions out there. But today, cloudy, 73 in Dover, 75 in Georgetown, drizzle and light rain, Cambridge 75, Vienna 75, and 80 in Crisfield, a little warmer there in Chincoteague as well, with Snow Hill at 75. Paul Davis, 7-day forecast. Enjoy your weekend. It's going to be a beauty, mostly sunny. 80 on Saturday, overnight lows in the lower 60s. Once again, some upper 50s possible well inland. 81 on Sunday, and then into next week, still real nice. 83 to 84 Monday through Wednesday, lower humidity, and then maybe a chance of showers by Thursday.
Thank you, Bob. Instead of spending their summer break sleeping in, a group of teenagers spent their morning walking the streets of Salisbury picking up trash. They're a part of a week-long camp for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and their service project brought in multiple groups from Delaware and Maryland to help clean up Route 13.
I think it's really important for everyone all the way around, because it can teach other people that it's important not to litter and to kind of just save the environment, because as you can tell, it's kind of going downhill. There's a lot of litter outside, but it's also just serving how the Lord served us. So that's why I think it's important.
And the teens were able to divide and conquer almost 5 miles of ground through the city. And if you're looking to add a furry friend to your family, the Brandywine Valley SPCA is hosting an adoption event this weekend in Rehoboth. It's happening Saturday, August 2nd from 10 to 3 at the Petco on Coastal Highway. And here's the best part, there will be no adoption fees for dogs and cats. Adoption fees will also be waived at other BVS PCA campuses, but the Petco is a part of a special event. And the time is now 6:51, and sticking with animals, here is your pet of the day. Today's coastal pet of the day is coming to us from the Brandywine Valley SPCA like it does every Friday. This next pet is proving it's never too early to get into the Christmas spirit. On your screen right now is Mistletoe. Mistletoe is as colorful as the rainbow. She is full of love and energy, and she loves to play in yards and go on walks on the trail. If you want to adopt Mistletoe or Ramona, who we showed you last hour, or any other lovable pet, head to the Brandywine Valley SPCA. And of course, we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. Send us photos and tell us what makes them so special. You can take a look at your screen, scan the QR code at the top of your screen to submit your furry friend to Coast TV News. Then watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all of the pets we feature. It is 6:55, and here are the things you need to know before you go. Rehoboth Beach will unveil a new historical marker, this at a ceremony on August 5th at 9 a.m. at the Beach Patrol. Officials say the marker will honor the Beach Patrol's long history. Mayor Stan Mills says it's an honor to receive the state historical designation. It's a final farewell for now as Chincoteague's famous ponies make their way back home to Assateague Island. The Chincoteague Volunteer Fire Company says the Saltwater Cowboys will guide the animals out of the carnival at 10 a.m. They'll be paraded along the same parade route as Wednesday. Unlike Wednesday, the ponies will go straight into the channel, swimming back to Assateague Island, where they'll remain until next year's swim. The ponies are expected to hit the water at 10:30. And the time is now 6:56, and we are going to take another look at your Friday forecast. Unfortunately, if you had beach plans today, Bob, those are not going to happen today. But this weekend, a lot of time to be outside, go to the beach, a nice weekend. We deserve it.
It's going to be a gorgeous weekend. So the plan maybe today, Elisa, is shops, restaurants, a little indoor retail therapy, and then hit the beaches for this weekend because it will be gorgeous then. Not so today. We have gray skies, some patchy drizzle, some light rain, a raw north-northeast breeze gusting up to 30 miles per hour at times at the coast, and we'll be topping out somewhere near 75 later today. Here is your Paul Davis 10-day forecast. 75 today, and then the beautiful weekend. 80 on Saturday, and pleasant overnight lows. Open up the windows, give the AC a break. Looking at lower 60s both Sunday and Monday mornings, maybe some upper 50s, and then that nice weather into Sunday, into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday as well. The humidity still low and temperatures below average. Maybe another rain chance by Thursday with lower 80s and maybe some lingering showers headed into Friday. And right now, next weekend, it does start to warm up. 86 Saturday, 89 on Sunday. But Elisa, I am not seeing any 90s or sweltering temperatures, so definitely looking really good the next several days.
I think we need a break from the humidity. Well, thank you, Bob, and thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News today. The Today Show is coming up next at 7 a.m. and then we'll be back for Coast TV News midday at 11. And for even more news and coverage you can count on, download our Coast TV News and weather apps. Have a great Friday morning.